I'm here with 7-time world champ Clay Cooper, the man, the healer, the one everybody's wanted to be. So, how you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good.
So you had a great year this year. I was out there watching it, the ups and downs. You struggled with horses a little bit throughout the year and still are going into the final second in the world. Not anybody could do that. Tell me about your year and how'd that feel?
Well, now that the year's pretty much wound down and all that's left is the finals, it feels pretty good. That, like you said, there was struggles and ups and downs and along the way, but you know that's just part of it. But we had a good year. It was fun to rope with Chad. He's really a
Good guy.
cool kid, man. He's a grinder. He keeps an even keel all the time. He thinks his job is just to go spin steer after steer. That's what he did, and I was fortunate enough and blessed enough to be able to rope some of them. So we had a pretty good year so far.
Good. And you just got a new horse?
Yeah, bought LB from Corey Kuntz, the good horse that he made and has been real successful on the last 4 or 5 years. So I like him a lot. I'm excited to ride him at the finals.
And tell me what you think that's going to do for you as far as from the horses that you rode throughout the year. They were younger and you were trying to make younger horses work for you, and now you've got an old solid horse that's already been there and done it. And how much easier is that going to be for you?
Well, I rode 6 different horses throughout the year. And I think the frustrating part was going from horse to horse and not knowing what I was going to ride next. And the horses that I rode were actually good horses, and I did good on them. But now that I have a horse of my own and I know what I'm going to ride, so now that I've bought LB, he's solid. And so that's a good feeling from that aspect. Be on a good, solid horse that works good, and I know what he's going to do. So I'm excited.
Good. So what do you do when you're not rodeoing full time?
I like being home. I moved to Gardnerville, Nevada. It's a beautiful little valley and big mountains to look at, and they have about 10 golf courses in that valley, and they're all real nice.
You've played all 10?
Oh yeah. So I like to play golf, and I like to be home and rope.
Yeah.
I like to practice every day and go through all my horses. And being on the road, you get half of your horses are at home and they're just sitting there. So I'm excited to be home, get to ride them all and rope, and that's what I enjoy.
People don't understand that about rodeo guys, I think, is most rodeo guys anyway, I'm the same way, that we genuinely love to rope. And so when we get home, just like me when I got home, man, I had horses here and I'm ready to get them going, and I'm craving roping steers and enjoy getting to rope and make horses and turn them into something better and tune on them, whatever. And I think people get the misconception that we're just wore out and sick of roping, and for about 2 days that might be the case, and then you're ready to get back in the practice pen, huh?
Absolutely.
So what about, everybody likes their odds at the NFR, obviously. Everybody's supposed to be confident in themselves and whatever. You and Chad are actually my pick at the NFR, and the reason being is because Chad has struggled with riding different horses the last several years, and he's got a black horse that I think probably he's going to ride at the NFR this year. He had success on him last year for the rounds he rode him. So I'm assuming he's going to ride him all 10 rounds. And you've got a horse now that I really, really feel like is going to be good for you out there. And what do you think about the whole situation at the finals and obviously you like your odds, but tell me what you think about that.
Well, I think there's, every team that's there has a chance to get on a roll and have a real successful week. So I think it all boils down to who gets going early, who can maintain consistency, keep placing, stay in the average, and at the end be able to go into the final day having to just knock a steer down, get first or second the average. That'll give you enough money to put you over the top. Is kind of the way I look at it. That's the way it has been the last. If you go in there and you miss one of the first steers, then you're under the gun. You have to win day monies or win first and second to make up that money, and then it's a hard road to hoe.
Right. Well, it seems like that the guys that try to go into it winning go-arounds right away, not that you don't try to win money in the go-arounds, you got to be aggressive there, I think, but the guys that just go for first every night, there's no way they can catch 10 steers in a row doing that. And so usually to me it comes down to the horses and what the guys have to ride and how easy they are to rope on, and so that's why I like your odds, is because you've got a great horse to ride now that's consistent, that you rope every steer whenever you want to, it looks like. And I think the black horse is the same for Chad. And so, like you said, there's always there's several teams that are going to do good and have the capability of doing that. Obviously, Clay Tryon, Travis Graves, obviously Trevor and Patrick, Kevin Daniels. There's several of y'all that are right there at the top together. And shoot, somebody can come out of nowhere and just win 125,000 like Turtle and Jet did last year. So it's anybody's game, but I always like the guys that got the horses set up, because everybody ropes good, and depending on what your mentality is and what your horses are, to me that's what makes or breaks us. As far as for me being there, that's what's always either made or broke me, is the horse that I was riding and how easy it was to rope on. So that's why I like y'all's odds. What's your biggest highlights of your career besides 7 Gold Buckles?
There's wins along the way that when you're roping with your friends, winning the average with Jake in '07 at the finals. He was coming back off, cutting his thumb off.
Yeah.
It was his first NFR back, and we were sitting at the back of the tunnel when the last guy roped, and he knew he'd won it, and the look on his face and be able to do it with him. Over all the 7 championships roping with that guy, that might have been one of the highlights, just the gratification that he made it back.
And he's back. He's
back.
He's justified.
Right.
Yeah,
That was special. Wins like the Wendy Ryan year before last, when you and I won it.
Mm-hmm.
Been going to that roping for 30 years. Won it a few times, but hadn't won it in the last 15 years or so. To win a roping with your buddy that means everything.
Yeah.
You're liable to win a big rodeo, and it don't mean as much as some of the little things that do.
Yeah, that's cool. It's neat how many friends you meet out here and how relationships develop, and whether you knew it or not, I'm sure you knew it, but whether you knew it or not, you were probably the biggest guy that was instrumental in not only my Christian walk and developing my Christian walk, because you're such a devoted Christian, but and where you were in your life at that time and where I was in my life at that time when we started roping, but also with Josie, my wife, because she hadn't really been raised up in church, and she had tons of questions, if you remember that, running down the road and stuff. So it's cool how you develop relationships and all that intertwines through life, and bottom line, at the end of the day, it's more about life than
that's what
anything else.
That's what the meaning of it all is the relationships. And rodeo's just rodeo, but it all intertwines through the relationships that you
Thanks,
make.
Clay. I appreciate you being on KeyedUpRodeo.com, and you can look at our tack room or our trophy room, and Clay Cooper will be having some stuff on there at some time.